also send one out once you actually start using it, so once you've had a ride in the first place. Have a look at this. So that's the email, it's got a nice animation, call to action. It's very quick and simple, it's very visually appealing, and it's very clear. And it's just basically saying if you need any help now that you've basically started using the app, then we're here. And to show the different services they offer, so food as well. So things like that, when somebody first starts using it, they might not realise everything that's on the app because they use it for a practical purpose. So this triggered email will just be a, yay, you're using our service. Here's some more things that you can do with it. So again, it's visually appealing, it's got a clear call to action, and it's short, so unlike the Uniqlo one, quick scroll, you've read it all, move on. This is one from Taco Bell, fast food place. So they have, this is yes, this is just to say, this is where if you've sort of been browsing but you haven't actually bought something, they send an email out that's like, missing something? No, you really want to have this food that we're offering. And the reason why it works is it's very on brand for Taco Bell, it's very creative. The picture is going to get you to look more at what it is. If it was just text saying missing something, the food you've been dreaming of you've been waiting for is here. If it was just text, it's unlikely to capture the eye of the reader. So it's about making it nice and creative, visually appealing, and again having a very clear call to action, the pink in the standing out against the black background. So Adidas, this one is an abandoned cart email. So this one is an email that gets sent out if someone has a product in their basket but they haven't completed it. So is your Wi-Fi okay? It's just because obviously sometimes the reason that the cart might be abandoned is because they've lost connection. Might not, might just change their mind. But it's sent out to try and get people to come out. And they take a very light-hearted tone. It grabs attention. It's slightly different. It's basically just slightly different to you've left something in your cart. It's to make you go, oh, what, is there something wrong with my Wi-Fi? Oh, no, right. Okay, I'll go back and buy those trainers. This is another cart abandonment one. This is a nice trick that you can use when you want something but you want a discount, is maybe sometimes put something in your cart and then leave it for a while and see if they offer you a discount to complete your purchase. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. So that's what this brand has done. They have offered the consumer a 15% discount if they come back and complete their purchase. Thing is, once they've done that, it does mean that once people know that they do that, it can be a bit risky, because once someone does abandon their purchase, even if it's because they're hoping to get a discount, they might change their mind later and decide it's not worth it even with a discount. But it's certainly a technique that customers appreciate. The other thing I'd say is sometimes you get a cart abandonment email after you have already made your purchase. So it's just making sure that your website and your email system are all working together. The CRM is actually getting it right, because again, you don't want to irritate your customer by sending them out a email like that if they have completed their purchase. This is just an example of a welcome email, just saying thanks for signing up. And it's just a nice and friendly email. Again, it's all about being visually appealing, making people feel like they're happy to see it in their inbox. The other thing is that their call to action is about getting people to update their email preferences. which lets people know that they're going to tailor their emails to you as a customer, which can make the emails more attractive. Because if you think they're going to be targeted by having that opportunity to personalise right from the start, then that can make people be more inclined to stay on the list rather than unsubscribing. So one-off emails are ones that don't necessarily follow any sort of content, like any sort of calendar of promotions and campaigns. They are emails that might be sparked by company announcements. So for example, if the company's been bought out, or if they've changed their structure, or they've got B Corp certification, which is about sustainability, things like that. Or if there's some urgent news, if something's been triggered by a major event. So if, for example, if something is going to affect deliveries and things like that. Or for surveys for market research. So periodically, companies might send out an email trying to get their both engaged and less engaged customers to fill out market research surveys so they can understand more about their customers. So this is an example of that one. This is one where this brand wants its customers to take a survey. And it can be difficult to get people to take surveys. Generally, people need an incentive. So they're offering 25% off their, this says Kate Spade, but it's not, Saturday.com, that's a mistake, off their order. It's also getting some urgency in there. It says there, hurry, only a few days left to do it, to try and get people to do it now, rather than them going, oh, I'll do that later. So getting that sense of urgency is very important. But yeah, it's also, with the use of emojis, it's saying that whether you're happy or unhappy with us, we're going to give you the opportunity to say that as well. So the way that they've designed it is really, really trying to get people to click on that to fill out their survey. And that's only going to be, it's benefiting both parties. Having that intelligence from customers about what they want and how they feel is very positive for the brand, and the 25% off discount is very good for the customer. So, some of the advantages of email marketing that we have already sort of covered a little bit, but the email is direct to the customer's mobile desktop. You don't need to go and seek out the customer anywhere. You don't need to go to another platform to try and get that customer. You're not dependent on them checking their Instagram account or visiting your website or doing a Google search. The customer is just sitting there doing whatever it is they're doing, and the email pings into their life. So that is one very big advantage of email marketing. You don't really get from any other type of digital marketing. When you manage your email marketing properly, you get some very good metrics, you get very good measurements about what they're doing. So you can see who opened the email, how many times they opened the email, so whether they went back to it. You can see if they clicked on any of the links and what they did afterwards. Sometimes you can see even how far they scroll down the email. It's also very easy to share. They can forward them on to friends, but that is very unlikely. It doesn't really happen very often, so it's probably not worth making that one of your objectives of the email. So there are plenty of disadvantages as well, of course. What you really don't want as a company is for your email address to be marked as spam. If you get marked as spam, then by one customer or by a few customers, then it might automatically go into the junk mail of everyone else who gets your email. So you could be spending lots and lots of money on your emails and putting lots of thought into them, But if they're going into people's spam folders, it's all for nothing. So that's a technical, and if that happens, then you need to work with other parts of your business, so the IT departments, things like that, to try and work out how you can stop that happening. One of the best ways to stop that happening is for people to find your emails useful so that no one marks it as spam. And the other thing, so if you were to try and bypass the people signing up for your emails and just think, well, I've got a load of emails from the internet somewhere, from a leak, I'm going to just email everyone that I've got an email address for, that's when they're more likely to mark it as spam. If you haven't signed up for an email list and you get an email from somebody, it's likely to be marked as spam. You do need to provide regular and relevant content if you've got an email list. So if someone has signed up to your list, you kind of need to provide that content. You need to actually be sending them emails. It's tricky to write a good email, so disadvantage is you really do need to get some very good headline writing and do a lot of research into what actually triggers responses. Again, that's all about not getting marked as spam, but also about getting people to convert. As a marketing tool, although it's cheaper than a lot of things, it does still have costs. So there's the cost of you writing the email or hiring a copywriter to. If you're creating animations or videos or nice graphics, then that all takes time and money. And then of course there's the management of it as well. But that's the case with all digital marketing. So that basically if you're not going to do all of those things, then there's no point in sending out emails at all. So this is one of the academic theories about email marketing. It covers a number of things that we've discussed already, but this is the academic model about it. The theoretical model of email opening. What's actually going to get someone to open an email? There's a lot of research into this because it is of huge value to businesses. So before they're going to open something, they need to know where it's come from. They need to recognize the name of the people that it's come from, so they understand. Could you have less speaking, please? There's a lot of murmuring at the back. It's very distracting. I'm going to keep looking at you until you stop talking. As well as knowing who the source of the email is, you need to think positively about them in order to open it. You need to think that there's going to be some value for you opening it. So for example, if there is a discount, it should be pretty clear in the headline, in the subject of the email, that there's going to be a discount. One of the things is just whether the person is feeling happy, feeling positive before they open it. If somebody is generally feeling positive, they're more likely to open an email. You can't really control that. And also whether they're in a position to read the email when they get it. Again, you can't control that. Although there is some research that shows the best time to send emails is on Tuesdays, for some reason. So then there's the action, they open it, and then the consequence, the next thing is if they're going to forward it to anyone, then those conditions need to be applied as well. See, this is the problem when you get people from England coming and doing the lectures. And like, I would gladly have it at least like another 5 degrees cooler in here than it is, but you know. So, for a successful email, this is the process that you need to go through. Again, it's not just about sending it out. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. You need to capture the data with consent. You need to add that data into your email system. Hopefully that's going to be automatic using the system that you have. In order to provide targeted emails, you need to segment your audience. So we talked about having sort of profiles for your ideal customers. So that's when you would be segmenting them into different types of customers. You need to create your winning subject lines, your calls to action, the rest of the content. You need to do some testing. That might be A/B testing as well to see which subject lines work best, or it might be focus groups, actually talking to people or sending out surveys. Then you're going to see what the results are, and you update the database. So for example, if people unsubscribe as a result of your email, then the database gets updated. So that's the process with every email that's sent. And then we're going to go through these key metrics. So when it comes to measuring, these are the things that you are going to measure. And when you produce reports for your employers or for your clients, these are the things that you will mention. So we're going to go through these. The click-through rate is the percentage of email recipients who clicked on one or more links contained in a given email. So it is the total number of clicks times by 100 to get percentage. That doesn't seem very mathematically correct, but anyway. So if you have, divided by, so yeah, the total number of clicks divided by the number of delivered emails times by 100. So if you sent 10,000 emails and you've got 500 people clicking, that's 5% click-through rate, which is much better than it sounds. If you get a 5% click-through rate, that's okay. You can't expect all 10,000 people who open your email to read it. This is a very important one, as it's so how many people on the list engage with the content and actually want to learn more about the brand or the product that you're offering. It's also called the click-to-open rate. And it's very interesting that it's very different depending on which country you're in. So Canada, 20% of people, according to marketers, click through on emails that are sent out, whereas in Vietnam, just 3.43%. So maybe Canada puts either think they're very strict about who you can have on your email list, but basically their consumers are very, very engaged. The UK isn't on this list. Oh no, Great Britain. So Great Britain is 6.65, so right in the middle. So yes, it just shows that you can expect different things depending on where you are. So if you are creating an email campaign here, and you had a click-through rate of anything above 3.43%, then that's a positive metric. If you're in Canada, that would be very bad. So it's just having those sort of metrics to compare it against. The conversion rate is the number of people, the percentage of email recipients who clicked on a link and then completed the desired action. So the click-through is people who clicked on something in the email. The conversion rate of people who then did the thing on the website that you wanted them to do. So if that was buying a product, then that's the conversion rate. So again, if 400 people completed the desired action out of 10,000 emails, that's 4% conversion rate. Bounce rate is simply the number of emails that bounced, so the percentage of emails that bounced. So if you had 75 bounced emails out of your 10,000 sent, that's 0.75% bounce rate. And if you have too many bounces, if you get a very high bounce rate, then you're more likely to be marked as spam by the email provider. So because it makes it look like your list isn't a very good list of emails, basically. So you need to keep your database updated. So any emails that get bounced, the email address needs to be immediately removed from your email list. Otherwise, you might get your internet service provider might consider you a spammer. So what you want to do is keep growing your email list. So your list growth rate is a very important one. If you create your mailing list, you create your newsletter or something, and you do a big push to get people to sign up to your email list and then ignore it and don't ask more people to sign up, then you're not going to have a growth rate. So what you want to do as a business is always keep growing your email list, keep it updated. Generally, email lists will decrease by about 22.5% every year. So if you weren't growing it, you weren't taking actions to grow it by like offering discounts on your website, for example, and using social media to get people to sign up, then in the end, you're going to end up with no one on your email list. So if it's decreasing by 22.5% every year, then you need to be taking an effort to get those new subscribers. So another metric is email sharing or forwarding, which is the percentage of email recipients who click on a share this button. So that might be to post the content on social media. So if you've got a very good sort of email management system that's connected to your social media, to your website, then just because it's in an email doesn't mean that it can't be shared. You can actually share, if your email is referring to a product, for example, then if you share it might share that product page on the website. And obviously that's earned media, that's word of mouth effectively. Very important words for any stakeholders that you're trying to get to give you money to do your digital marketing campaigns is the overall return on investments, the ROI, and that's basically how much you have generated divided by how much you've spent. So what you want is to be bringing in more money from your email marketing than you're spending on it. So if you've made $1,000 in additional sales, but you've spent $100 on the campaign, then that's like well anyway. The maths is not my strong point, but basically then you'll get a good return on investment. And that's one of the reasons why what you do has to be very measurable. Because if you haven't got those calls to action and you're just sending out an email and hoping that people will then at some other point go and look at your website and buy something, then you can't measure that. You can't prove that return on investment to your stakeholders. Open rate, very simple, it's just the percentage of email recipients who open an email. The main way that this is useful is if you compare it to your other emails that you've sent out. So what you want is for each email you send out to be getting a sort of bigger open rate than other ones. But it doesn't really prove much in terms of return on investment. Because if lots of people are opening your emails, but they're not doing anything, they're not clicking through or converting, then that isn't a good thing. So it's more about a comparative metric to compare it to your previous emails. And then we've got the unsubscribe rate, which is a very important one. And it's including in the UK and the EU and parts of the world, by law, you have to provide an unsubscribe link in your email. It's very important. If you don't have it, you're breaking the law for a lot of the world. So you can't stop people from unsubscribing from your emails, but you can encourage them to stay on your email list by providing good content. If lots of people are unsubscribing after your email, you need to go back and look at that email, what it was that prompted people to unsubscribe. So yes, this can also indicate if you're sending too many. So it might be that the one particular email prompted people, or it might be that they've had 4 emails from you that week and they're just like, no, I can't take this anymore. I'm going to unsubscribe. And one of the things you'll often get when you unsubscribe is why have you unsubscribed? Is it sending too many emails? Content isn't relevant. I never signed up for this email list. And that information is really, really important for you. So, that's, we're going to do, I'll have a look, see if there are any questions. Probably also the questions will be, can you make it warmer in here? But yes, the complete code. Hopefully, you now have an understanding of the benefits of email marketing, insights into the types of email marketing and the relevant strengths and weaknesses, and an understanding of what makes a successful email marketing campaign, and insights into how these are managed and monitored. No. So yes, this question here about the bounce rate. So bounce rate in email marketing is basically the percentage of people who put your emails into spam. No. The bounce rate in email marketing is the number of emails that don't get to a recipient. So they're the ones that are automatically bounced back. So we don't have the metric, or rather we don't really measure the metric of people who put it into spam. That's it. That's the only question. I was expecting to see something like you make it a cup warmer. But yeah, that's the only. Feel free to ask any more questions here. Otherwise, we're going to have a 15-minute break before the next lecture, which is all about websites. So feel free to add anything on here for the next few minutes.